Alright guys, so I thought I would take a little bit of time today to go over composite functions, just as a review for some and maybe learning a little bit for others. And so here, we're going to try it. Now, I thought I'd make the video a little more interesting today by wearing a blue wig with long hair, but then I realized that you can't see me. So, oh well, just pretend. Anyway, so here we go. Let's look at these two functions. We've got f of x, which is 2x squared minus 5, and we've got g of x, which is negative 3x plus 4. Now, a composite function is when you have a function that is composed of more than one other function. And so, for example, this first one says f, that O, that open dot, is read of. So f of g of x. So you've seen f of x before, and you may have seen something that looks like this. F of g of x. Okay, these two things mean the same thing. Essentially, it's just f of g of x. So it wants you to take g, whatever that function g is, and they want you to put it into the function of f. Now that was interesting, my g just disappeared. But that's what they want you to do. And so that's what we're going to try here. That's what this is saying, is instead of x here, we're going to put g of x. Alright, so let's say equals. So I'm going to copy down f exactly how it is, except instead of x, I'm going to replace it with g of x. So I'm going to write down 2 times g of x squared minus 5. So hopefully you can see this is exactly what this is, except instead of x, I replaced it with g of x. And just like any good Algebra 1 student, I replaced the x with g of x, which is in parentheses. Alright, so now at this point, I know what g of x is. And so I can actually go ahead and rewrite this as 2 times negative 3x plus 4 squared minus 5. Now at this point, you can go ahead and simplify. So negative 3x plus 4 squared means that I'm going to need to take the negative 3x plus 4 and multiply it by itself. And then minus 5. And so in the end, I'm going to have, let's see, 2 times 9x squared. I've got a minus 12x and another minus 12x, so minus 24x plus 16. And so then we should be able to distribute the 2. So 18x squared minus 48x. The 2 times 16 will be 32 minus 5 is 27. And so this is f of g of x. Alright, so go ahead and why don't you try this one by yourself. Pause the video and then see if you get the same thing I do. Ready? Pause. Alright, so now we're back at it. Let's go ahead and see if you were able to figure out what this means. So this is g of f, which means I'm going to take f and put it into g. So I'm going to write g exactly as it is. Now, most of you have seen it written in this way before, where the f of x has replaced the x right there. And so we're going to write this as negative 3 times f of x plus 4. Then, of course, we know what f of x is. It's this over here. So let's go ahead and replace negative 3 times 2x squared minus 5 plus 4. And so from here, we'll distribute the negative 3. So negative 6x squared plus 15 plus 4. So this will equal negative 6x squared plus 19. Please note that it does not give you the same answer. So it's not commutative or associative when you're doing composite functions. Depending on what order you do it in, it will definitely give you a different answer. Alright, so there you go. You've got g of f of x. Alright, now the last question says find f of g of negative 2. So that's saying first do f of g, so put g into f, and then figure out what happens when I put negative 2 in for x. Now there's another way to look at this. The way that you learned how to do this before, hopefully in Algebra 2, was f of g, but instead of x, we've got a negative 2 there. And so the other way to do this is you could do g of negative 2, so put negative 2 in right here, work it out, and then plug that in for x and f. Now, since we've already done f of g, that may or may not be easier. So I'll just do it both ways and show you how it works. All right? So first we'll take f of g of x. So we'll take 18 times x squared minus 48 times x plus 27. So this is f of g of x, except instead of x, I'm putting -2. And so from there, we can go ahead and I'm going to just use my calculator so it'll be a little bit faster. So it's going to be 18 times -2 squared, which is 4, and then plus 48 times 2. Negative times negative is positive, so that's okay, and then plus 27, and you'll note that that is my final answer, which is 195. Now, the other way to do it, of course, would have been to put the -2 into the g. So say g of -2 equals -3 times -2 plus 4, which is 6 plus 4, which is 10. And then take that and plug it into the f of x, because it's f of g of -2. So then we would say f of 10, so I'm putting that in for the x now, equals 2 times 10 squared minus 5. And so that would be 2 times, let's see, 10 squared is 100, so 200 minus 5, which again gives us the same thing, as long as we use this equation right here. All right, so there you go. That's your little rundown on composite functions. I hope that helps you with your homework tonight. Ciao.